Hello everyone, I'm Xiao Gang. Okay, I'm gonna demonstrate this packaging issue here. After you package it, you'll find that if you follow our previous method, the program you built works fine when accessed on your local machine, but on the public network or in an intranet environment, it won't work on other machines. So how do you verify this? First, you definitely need to package it. The packaging method is simple. Find our engine and copy this out. Because our dependencies are relatively few, you can just copy it out and it will work. And here we will provide a program. You will definitely have it later. It's some related stuff from the slide window we made earlier, right? And here, put some dependencies like better eyes. We tell him, and then it's the same. Actually, the things it depends on, I've already filtered them for you. So you don't need to worry too much. Just follow my method. Because you will get our course materials. Those course materials will definitely include these things, and its structure is the same as the engine structure. It's just that this thing is relatively, with Slate, we will have much less stuff. We will just remove some useless things. Actually, they can still be deleted. These can also be deleted. No problem. This editor can be deleted. Don't worry about it. This Slate can also be deleted. Okay, then delete it. Don't delete this intermission. Good. Then after this is done, you can double-click here to launch. See, launching works perfectly fine. It will read the configuration here. See, then how does it read the configuration? The configuration it actually reads is at this location. It reads the configuration from this location. No problem at all. So what we need to do is also very simple. Then what else do we need to do? Notice there is a DLL here. And don't launch it by double-clicking. Many people double-click the EXE to launch it. This is not a good habit. This deserves some criticism. Normally, you should write a batch file. You should launch it like this. This way, you can also see more information. So this startup method, how does it actually start? Actually, you just create a new text file. Create a new text file. Then write this exe in it. Then add a logo. Hey, this is the command line parameter. Right, this is the only way to output more logs. Then you take this text file and rename it to start server. Then we can write one first. This is fine too. Let's just delete it. How should we rate it then? We'll use this often later when working on DS services. So this must be master. This is relatively simple. We might have time to talk about it later. In the future, use processing to simplify our development workflow. Okay, let's edit it here. Let's paste it. That's it. Just paste the name like this. I'm not sure about the outside part. Worried about him. Okay, we've started it. And you'll find that after starting it like this, you can access it locally on this machine. We lock house port 1833. Just leave this machine as it is. We don't need to access Lockhouse just yet. This one is 8033. Right, actually, let's try gunlog to see if it works. Right, you can see, actually, we can also get this JSON here. You can see, that means all our tokens are invalid, because we simply don't have this information. But you cannot access it on the local network. So how do you access it on the local network? Open your phone, then make sure your phone and this desktop are on the same network. Then, through this command line, how do I open this command line? Actually, it's very simple. CMD command line. Then here you type in this IP config. This. Then you can check your local machine's LAN IP here. So my local machine's LAN IP is this one. Then you add 8333 at the end. Then you can access it through your phone's browser. You can see that we are here. It accessed successfully, right? This is clearly successful only if you get this thing. But actually, you cannot access it right now. Because if I access it now, it will return a 404 error. This is because your server hasn't uploaded it hasn't been exposed. So how do we expose it? Let's turn it off first. There is an engine here. Here, we paste this config right here. In this config, there is a base engine. We add a section like this in the base engine. Listener default bound edge address. That makes it default. That allows all other IPs to access it. Once that's done, you start it again. This way, you can achieve the same result as mine. So with this deployment method, you can deploy it on an LDBA cloud server. This is all fine. You can try it yourself because my Alibaba cloud server has been running for several months. It's not really useful anyway. So I just uploaded this exe. Basically, when packaging, the issue is like this. You just paste the exe en. You need to copy the related dependencies into it according to this hierarchy and configure the configuration information properly. Then it can be used. One thing to note is that some resources on its environment might be a greenhouse. It might be the enterprise version. It might not have some C++ environments. you can run this UE4 pre-setup XGSampleServer program. It will help fix it for you. The Unreal environment on your computer. Of course, this Unreal environment thing. It varies from person to person, so to speak. Where does this thing come from? It comes from some of the tools in our engine. In Chapter 1 or Chapter 2. We introduced it in Chapter 3. The engine comes with some auxiliary tools from within the engine. You can find this thing by digging around. This should be from UE4 or after packaging. It sometimes comes with this kind of thing. I copied this out separately for you. It will also be in the course materials later. Okay, so we have finished this chapter. There may still be some database content. There may also be some other details. That will be for your future improvement. It is worth noting, in commercial production, actually when you work in mid-sized or large companies, these things are all handled by back-end colleagues because it may involve more interface signatures, things like signature verification. These are not things we Unreal engineers should be doing. So, if this task is assigned to you, you should have a plan in mind. Ideally, this is not something you should do. You only need to handle the client-side part. Because if the backend involves, you need to integrate Weibo, integrate WeChat, integrate Alipay, right? You need to. And this integration doesn't mean that later on, someone in your team has already integrated it. You integrate the SDK. You directly connect to WeChat, connect to Changseng, connect to Alipay. That would be very troublesome, this thing, because they usually won't provide you with native C++ SDK. They might not even have a C++ SDK. They just give you a web interface, and the sample code provided by this web interface is still in Java or Golang. Then it's actually very difficult for us to write. It's a huge waste of time. So if you encounter this situation, you need to report it to the boss. Let him coordinate with a Java backend engineer himself. Let him come to the back tune, specifically to encapsulate your backend services. Okay, personally, I think the content of this lesson is still quite cool. Let everyone connect the entire front end and back end together, forming a closed loop, a business closed loop. Okay, this chapter of ours should have covered everything, mostly covered, almost done. And then regarding that server at the end, you might think it's always written in memory. You can write a configuration. For example, write a configuration. You add some accounts here, right? Then write another ini file. This will serve as a local configuration. You don't need a database at all, it's perfectly fine. Because I think if you use a database, you also have to deal with CRUD operations. If it's not done well, you might even need a DB programmer, right? A programmer specifically for the database. That would be a bit troublesome. But we can still do it. However, you need to be clear what your positioning is and what the team's positioning is, right? Okay, that's all for now. Thank you, everyone.